Thank you so much for stopping by and welcome to the show. Over here at Comic Crusaders, we try to have a little fun. I've been absentee, if you will, for a hot minute, just kind of doing website articles. But today, we're doing something really cool. We're going to be looking at the Page Puncher's Gorilla Grodd. I'll be honest with you, I'm not that familiar with this color scheme for Gorilla Grodd. I'll get into that more in the comics section. But I do like this figure. This figure's got a lot of cool stuff going on. There are some problems as well. I'm going to dive into all of that. We're going to examine it and share your thoughts. Let me know what you think. But anyways, let's get on with the show and let's look at Gorilla Grodd. Well. Look at this damn dirty ape. Nah, I kid. This Gorilla Grodd actually looks pretty cool in the face. I like the comic look with the eyes being white. The expression is nice. It would have been nice to have an alternate head with this guy. And then, of course, we got the helmet. I also do wish the helmet was removable. There's a lot of nice design here, but there's like no washes or anything of that nature. But it still looks nice. I'm not here to harp too bad. I'm just pointing out things. And I want you to know that helmet section is very, very gummy, but it still looks nice. As far as the chest armor goes, once again, more of that gummy-like plastic material. You do have some gold in there to kind of help break up the orange. Beautifully sculpted, probably all digital, but still looks nice. And then we got the cape, which is orange. This is probably one of the things I don't like, is that this cape, the way it was folded in, I can't get it to go back out. And the other thing is it's orange too, which is faithful to the artwork in the comic, which you'll see. But at the same time, I think a red or another color would have helped break up the orange that we see. The body looks really nice. There's a lot of nice sculpted fur on there. There's a lot of detail on the fur, on the hands, different paint. It looks like all the paint went on the body, but the sculpt's there. It looks good. It looks like a gorilla, which is nice. Look at the feet. The feet got some blue, they got some gray, they got some black. There's a lot going on there. As for the diaper section, or loincloth, if you will, at least here we got a lot more gold mixed in with the orange, which is nice. We got a gorilla butt. Nice texture on the back there, which looks really good too. As far as the presentation of the gorilla portion here, and of course I lifted up the loincloth. I don't know why I did that. It all looks really good and I'm happy with that. However, I think a little bit more paint would have helped bring out this figure a lot more. In terms of articulation, he looks up, he looks down, he can turn side to side, really no issue. It's a weird head sculpt, but it does work in terms of articulation. Once again, the helmet is non-removable. In terms of the body, it rotates. It goes only forward that much because of where they drilled the ball peg at. It goes back a lot more, then of course rotates and goes side to side. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more here, and I know a lot of articulation junkies would have as well. So we do have an arm though, and it does rotate and go in and out and do all that fun stuff. The armor really doesn't hinder it because of the way it's pegged in. We got a single bend at the elbow with rotation. Some will find this ugly, but it works for the character for me. And then we got a rotation and hinge at the hand. Not the best design, but it works. In terms of the legs, they do the splits. They kicks forward about that much. A couple times it's popped off on me, the diaper and whatnot, so just be careful. It does have a little bit of a thigh swivel, not much. And then of course we have a hinge at the foot and rotation. And then we have a ball hinge at the foot with no rocker, but it can go up and down and just rotate 360. So there is that. As far as what's included with your Page Puncher's Gorilla Grodd, well, you get a comic, you get a card, you get a display stand, and you get your Gorilla Grodd. So interesting stuff here. Here's the card. I do like the artwork on the front because it's the artwork on the cover, but man, would I wish that we'd had like some artwork of Grodd on the front, as we see on the back. Then of course there's your bio. So what ends up happening, just like with the comic, you have 4 of the same cards, at least on the front. At least the back has different information on it, so I can't complain too much. So you get the card gimmick, you get the stand gimmick right there, and then you get the comic gimmick. So here's the interesting thing about the comic. I don't know if this is exclusive for this figure line, like if this was commissioned for the figure line, because the artwork matches up the figures perfectly for the most part, so it's kind of strange, as you can see there. If somebody can let me know in the comments, I'd be interested to find out. I tried to look, but I couldn't find this, so I either suck at looking or it doesn't exist. But beautiful artwork. I'm not that familiar with all the artists involved. But then here we go. We get to Grodd. Look at him. He is what we see in figure form. So if anybody's like, man, what's this about? And he literally went off the artwork. So either it was commissioned this way or whatnot. It's kind of interesting. So I just feel like I'm ranting at this point. And then, of course, we have a scene where the helmet comes off and you just go, man, I wish my helmet would come off. But that's not the case. Pretty cool little book. You got some advertisements in there, you know, for other DC books and whatnot. If you're just a casual comic fan, I think you'll really enjoy this. So let's talk about size. In terms of McFarlane Gorilla Grodd's, he is the biggest. He definitely beats the other version we have. And then, as you can see, he does tower over the Flash, which is very nice to see. So, you know, if you're looking for a Grodd to tower over your Flash, you have one. Now, this is where things get really weird. McFarlane's scale is all over the place. You got Bane here, who should actually be smaller than Grodd, and Grodd should be about probably Bane's size. Killer Croc should be bigger, and then Man-Bat's all over the place. Same with Atrocitus. So you got a nice, you know, rogues gallery of stuff going on here. It's just that the scale's all over the place. He feels really small. And talk about feeling small. Here he is next to Cygor and Overkill, and he just seems puny. I mean, I think it's kind of funny that Todd's gorilla is bigger than the DC gorilla, but that's just the cynic in me. I think a lot of people would have liked Gorilla Grodd to be about Cygor size, so I think that's a missed opportunity. Overall, my final thoughts are kind of my initial thoughts. I purchased this, so I wanted it, and I'm happy I have it. But as I went through the review, and especially when it came to the size comparison, he is still small. Is he bigger than before? Yes. He's been eating his spinach and taking his steroids. I don't know what he's been doing. So it's interesting. Do I think he's worth the purchase? Yeah, he's a cool looking figure. Would he have benefited from a wash or some sort of additional paint on the orange? Absolutely. But as you saw in that comic art book, he looks exactly here as he did in there. So I don't know. Everything's all over the place. If you like him, pick him up. If not, just pass him on by or wait till clearance. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts. So I'm going to just wrap it up here and say thank you for checking out us here at Comic Crusaders. Share your thoughts, and until we meet again, great googly moogly.